everyone. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm going live right now. Hey, everyone. I'm live on Facebook and on Instagram. This is not something that I do very often outside of the Done with the morning show, but today was such a full day. Hey, Natasha, the Diamond Butterfly, joining us on Instagram. If you're joining us on Facebook also or LinkedIn, I want you to say hello, drop a hello in the chat. Let me know where you're joining us from. I'm going to be sharing with you. Hey. Oh, good. You're in Jamaica. I'm so happy to see you. Actually, I owe your mom a call. I just was texting with her the other day. All right, y'all, listen. Today was one of those days. You've been following me for a while. You know that I'm usually up really, really early. So I started my day at 4 o'clock, and here it is 9:30, and I'm sitting here doing a live. But the reason why I do all of this is because I'm passionate about serving the community. I'm passionate about serving women. I'm passionate about serving girls. And so that passion gives me extra energy. And I just wanted to jump on tonight to kind of share with you guys 3 tips that I live by, 3 tips that keep me going. Yes. Hey, what's up? Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm not familiar with that name. Tell me who that is. I just said, hey, Melissa. Y'all, I'm live I'm trying to do Instagram and Facebook at the same time. So anyway, so I'm going to share with you 3 tips that I live by that really, really serve me very well. And these 3 tips, I think I came by really organically. I remember in 2016 when by this time my business had been for 2 years. I started MD Marketing Network January 31st, 2014. I will never, ever forget the day that I incorporated my business, y'all. I was working part-time at Circle of One Marketing. I incorporated my business that morning on Sunbiz. And then that same afternoon, I picked up my packet for the Tropical 5K as a part of the Miami Marathon weekend. So you hear me when I tell you, oh, good to see you, Mama. So you hear me when I tell you that this marathon thing has been in my journey for a long, long, long time. So when I started my business the first 2 years, I was still working for somebody else. And I was really trying to figure out how to balance being an entrepreneur, a new entrepreneur, and also having a job, right? So I was able to get 3 really solid accounts, left my part-time job, fired my boss, if you will, went out on my own. And 2 years later, now my business is facing some challenges, some hard times, so much so that I had to make the decision to fire a client. And let me tell you, it was not easy. It was very, very challenging, perhaps one of the most challenging things that I did. But what I learned is that not every single client is meant for you, and not every money is good money, all right? Sometimes if it's going to rob your peace, if it's going to rob you of your peace of mind, sometimes it's best to just say, listen, I bid you well. Anyways, so I had gotten to a point in 2016 in my business that there was a serious lull in the amount of clients that I had. And I was really, really, really struggling. On the outside, I looked good. I looked happy, but I was struggling, y'all. You hear me? I was really, really struggling, trying to figure out how to pay my rent, trying to figure out what to do with my life, what's next, what kind of businesses I was going to really try to serve. And so I read a book by Grant Cardone called 10X. And even though I am not necessarily a huge fan, what I got out of that book was the inspiration that led me to create this list right here. Let me show it to you. I have this list You see how tattered it is, y'all? I have this list up on my wall right here. Those of you who are on IG, I keep it right here, okay? So that I see it every single day. And I'm going to tell you, of the 5 things on this list, I'm going to tell you the 3 things that I follow every single day, that no matter how busy my life gets, no matter how complicated things get with clients, with my residents, all of that. And if you're watching for the first time, let me tell you, I am a public servant in a city of 74,000 people. I am a CEO of a marketing company. I am running this Done Wisdom movement, which is a personal development company. And I have a nonprofit. I have a program called Hibiscus Girls Leadership Academy, where I'm literally responsible for making sure that 16 girls get the mentorship and support that they need. So lots and lots and lots of hats, right? And when life gets busy, I need to have something that will anchor me, that will keep me going, that will allow me to cultivate the kind of mindset that will help me to not only serve my clients and my community, but also to serve me. So, number 1, I'm committed to taking massive daily actions to achieving my goal. Massive daily action, right? And the next time that I do a live, I'm actually going to show you the system that I developed, my 90-day success plan that I use in order for me to manage the things that I'm committed to and make sure that I'm taking the type of action that will either bring me revenue and or align with my purpose. And for me, I'm committed to advancing global understanding, impacting lives, and transforming communities. And if that task or the action does not align with any of those, I just don't do it. I say no, right? So my first thing is I'm committed to take massive daily actions in order for me to achieve my goals. Number 2, I'm committed to making sure that I'm connected to and guided by source. You guys, this whole idea of grinding, this whole idea of going hard every day, you know, like this whole grind mentality that I see that's really prevalent right now in entrepreneurship, I've tried it. And you know what it does? It burns me the F out. It stresses me out. It burns me out. And I have decided that for me, I prefer to be the type of entrepreneur that gets things done with ease and grace, right? Yes, I'm up at 4:00 in the morning. Yes, I'm grinding. I mean, listen, let me tell you what my day looked like today. You hear me? Got up at 4:00, did my prayer meditation, went for a run. And then, I mean, I've been to 3 schools, 3 cities. It's a lot. But because I'm connected to and guided by source, it feels easier than the days when I was just getting things done just to do it. I don't have to be by myself, right? There are moments when I feel frustrated, but if I take a deep breath and connect to source, then I calm, I get centered, and I'm able to move again, right? So that's the second thing that I live by, the second rule that I live by. Yes, that's right, Yannick. No burnout. It is crazy, y'all. It is crazy. This whole idea of going hard and no, sir. Give me ease and grace every day. Ease and grace. And then the third thing is I keep my word to myself and others. That one right there, you guys. Have you ever been in a situation where somebody would ask you to do something for them, and they ask you because they know that they can depend on you to do what you say you're going to do? If you tell them, listen, I'm going to get this to you by such and such a date, you're going to do it, you're going to die trying. Well, what about when you make commitments to yourself? Do you keep them? Do you go just as hard for you? And I have to tell you, I was one of these people that didn't. I kept my word to other people, but I always, in the past, I broke my word to myself. I was somebody that other people can count on. I was somebody that other people can, like Melissa will get it done. But boy, when it came to doing things for me, for my own business, for my own, you know, my own well-being, I put myself at the bottom of the list. That's the way I used to be. And I can tell you that it doesn't work. Be impeccable with your word. Absolutely. One of the 4 agreements, you know where I got that from, right, Yannick? You had the same problem too. Absolutely, Yannick. It is a challenge when you allow other people to count on you, but you can't count on yourself. I'm going to say that again. When you allow other people to count on you and you cannot count on yourself. Now, what kind of sense does that make? It doesn't make any sense at all. So I am now, and I have to tell you that this way of being number 3 on my list, and I'm actually going to tell you all 5 because it don't make no sense for me to just tell you 3 when I have 5 that I live by. So that number 3 is something that God had to really work with me on. God had to really work with me on this idea of keeping my word to myself. And so it's something that I'm still working on, and it's the little things, right? It's not just the big things. The big things are amazing, but guess what? It's the little daily choices that you make or don't make that produce the results that you have in your business, that produce the results that you have in your life. And so it's important. Just as you keep your word to other people, it's important for you to keep your word to yourself too, because you are worth it. You are special. And you, my dear, especially if you're an entrepreneur, you're your brand. So you've got to keep your word to yourself, just like you keep your word to other people. So that's the 3rd thing that I live by. The 4th thing that I live by is I see the best in myself and others. Have you ever had a client or a coworker that got on your nerves? That was just so difficult. Either the way how they showed up, the way that, maybe they were a complainer, maybe they were one of these folks that was like an energy vampire, the type, always complaining, never satisfied. I have had to learn that when these types of people show up in my space, that I get to ask myself, what is it about me in this moment that's attracting that type of person to me? Right? And once I started to practice that 4th thing where I see the best in myself and others, then instead of going through the list of the things that annoy me about the person or annoy me about the situation, I started to look for things about them and the situation that I loved. And you know what? In the beginning, sometimes it's just, I love your nail polish. I love your nail polish. And over time, it got easier and easier. And I tell you that the minute I started practicing looking for the best in myself and in others and in my situation, that's the minute that the things that were giving me problems went away because they just weren't present in my experience anymore, right? So that's the 4th thing. And then the 5th thing is look for opportunities of abundance in every situation. And I can't even stress that enough. I think a lot of time people believe that abundance is something that is just about money. And yes, money is an important part of abundance. It's an important part of the equation for sure. But what about your abundance of peace? Abundance of well-being, right? That matters. And the pandemic is one of those situations where, man, if you were focusing on the negative, you wouldn't make any money. But there were millionaires birthed in the pandemic. Right now, if you listen to the news, you would think that the world is falling apart. But there are people right now making millions. You know what sets them apart? What sets them apart is their mindset. What sets them apart? Their marketing, the way they manage their money. That's what sets them apart, right? I can tell you. That's right, Yannick, you were. Yannick says, child, don't we know it? We making money. That's it. Imagine if you were to put yourself in a position where you had tools to help you to cultivate a success consciousness. Tools like this. This is one of my tools that I use to cultivate my success consciousness, that I use to ensure that I am showing up in a world in a way that aligns with my vision of the type of woman that I want to be, making the kind of impact and contribution that I want to be, the woman that is advancing global understanding, transforming communities and impacting lives. That's important for me. And so that's how I show up. But I do it because I have tools that help me to make multiple six-figure and more with ease and grace. No grinding. Is it always, smooth sailing? Absolutely not, because guess what? Smooth sailing is boring. Some of my best ideas, some of my most successful projects came to me after a period of struggle. And so when the struggle comes, and it does, you know what rule I rely on? The one that says, look for opportunities of abundance in every situation. The one that says, I see the best in myself and in others. Mindset. Mindset is everything. As an entrepreneur, your mind sets the tone for your success, because success is indeed an inside out job. So some people don't want to hear that. That's right. It's really hard for some people to get that, Natasha. You're absolutely right. But it's the truth. It's the truth. Take care of yourself. You've got to take care of your mindset. So here's my invitation to you. Here is my invitation to you right now. I want you to think about your goals. I want you to think about the type of life that you want to create for yourself and for your family. Like, do you want to experience financial freedom? Do you want to experience the type of life that would give you the time to travel, where you're not trading time money? Like, whatever it is that you want, I want you to think about that for a moment. And then I want you to ask yourself, how do you need to show up in order for you to create all of that? How do you need to show up? What way of being would lead you to have what you want? So for me, it's these 5 things. I have this system that I have developed that helped me to cultivate my success consciousness. What system do you use? How are you thinking? Coaching life. What do you want? I can tell you this, whatever it is you want, ask, given. Those of you who follow Abraham Hicks, you've heard that before, right? Ask and it's given. That's it. But you've got to be willing to do the work. You've got to be willing to invest in yourself, to take yourself on, to release some limiting beliefs, release habits and choices that don't align with what you want to create, and replace them with ones that would support your vision for your life. I want to invite you. To join me. Join me on March 23rd. March 24th, sorry, March 24th and 25th, if you are in the South Florida market. I am hosting a 6-figure women in business summit. 6-figure women in business summit. And at that time, I'm going to be sharing with you some tips, some strategies that I've used in my life, that my clients have used in their life in order to create a business that aligns with their core value, that they've used to perhaps fire their boss in a way that is energetically and financially stress-free. 6-figure women in business.com. The early bird, I think, is on until tomorrow or Saturday. I forgot which day. So I invite you to register. I invite you to join me. It's going to be on the Friday. We're going to have a power player reception. And then on Saturday, we are going to be going all in. And it is not the type of conference that you come to that you are just going to sit passively and learn. No. That's not how I roll, baby. You got to come ready and willing to teach you a concept, and then you will take immediate action so that by the time you leave, you will have had the opportunity to practice, so that concept can become a part of your consciousness. 6-figure women in business.com is where you go to register. It starts in March 24th, March 25th. We're going to be covering money. We're going to be covering marketing. And we're going to be covering your mindset, because you really need to have all 3 in place in order for you to have a success as an entrepreneur. All right. So I really hope that these tips that I shared with you tonight was helpful. Once again, number 1, take massive daily actions to achieve your goals. Number 2, get connected to and guided by source. Number 3, keep your word to yourself and others. Number 4, yourself and other people. And number 5, look for opportunities of abundance in every situation, because they exist and you deserve them. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to have the life of your dreams. You deserve to have the business of your dreams, right? And everything that you need in order to make it happen is already inside of you. You have it. I would love the opportunity to support you. I would love the opportunity to see you in this community of entrepreneurial women that are committed to making 6-figure and beyond, not through grinding, but with ease and grace. All right, y'all. Be well. Peace.